The silent invasion. Commander Alina Novik stood motionless before the holographic display, her weathered face illuminated by the pulsing red warning signals. The Deep Space Monitoring Station, Sentinel-7, had never registered anything like this before. Thousands of ships moving in perfect formation, their energy signatures unlike anything in humanity's database. "Run the analysis again, Lieutenant Rodriguez," she ordered, her voice steady despite the growing tension in her chest. The young officer's fingers flew across the haptic interface, but the results remained unchanged. "Commander, the signature pattern matches nothing in our records. They're using some form of propulsion we've never encountered, based on their trajectory." Rodriguez paused, swallowing hard. "They're headed straight for the Proxima Centauri colony." Alina's jaw tightened. Proxima Centauri, humanity's first extrasolar settlement, home to over 2 million civilians. The colony that her daughter had moved to just last year. "Get me a secure channel to Fleet Command, Priority Alpha." She turned to her second-in-command, Commander Victor Petrov. "And Victor, initiate silent running protocols. We can't let them know we've spotted them." The next 12 hours became a blur of activity. As the mysterious fleet drew closer, Sentinel-7's advanced sensors revealed more details about the invaders. Their ships were biological in nature, massive organisms wrapped in crystalline armor that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. The Kylaxians, as they would later be known, had clearly evolved for space travel in a way humanity never had. Fleet Admiral James Morrison's hologram materialized in the command center, his expression grave. "Commander Novik, your report was concerning. Show me what you found." Alina transferred the sensor data, watching the Admiral's face as he processed the information. "Sir, based on their current velocity, they'll reach Proxima Centauri in 72 hours. The colony's defenses won't stand a chance." Morrison nodded slowly. "We've been preparing for this day, Commander. Ever since first contact went wrong 30 years ago, we knew someone would eventually come. Initiate Protocol Prometheus." Alina felt her breath catch. Protocol Prometheus was something of a legend among the military brass, a contingency plan so secret that most believed it was just a rumor. "Sir, you mean it actually exists?" "Indeed it does, Commander. For the past 3 decades, we've been building hidden shipyards in the asteroid belt, weapons platforms disguised as mining operations, AI systems that make our current military tech look like children's toys." Morrison's hologram smiled grimly. "The Kylaxians think they're hunting sheep. They're about to meet wolves." The next day, Alina watched in awe as humanity's true fleet emerged from hiding. Ships unlike anything the public had ever seen dropped their stealth fields throughout the solar system. The FSS Hyperion, humanity's first true dreadnought, decloaked less than a kilometer from Sentinel-7, its massive form blocking out the stars. Admiral Morrison's voice echoed through the command channel. "All ships, this is Fleet Command. The enemy believes they have caught us unprepared. They believe we are primitive, vulnerable, weak. Today, we prove them wrong. Today, we show them that humanity will not go quietly into the night." Alina felt pride swell in her chest as she watched Earth's hidden fleet move into position. Thousands of ships, each carrying weapons and defenses developed in secret, preparing to protect not just a colony, but humanity's future among the stars. "Commander," Rodriguez called out, his voice tight with excitement, "the Hyperion is requesting that you transfer aboard. Admiral Morrison wants you to coordinate the sensor network for the battle." Alina nodded, already moving toward the shuttle bay. As she prepared to leave her station, she took one last look at the holographic display showing the approaching Kylaxian fleet. They had no idea what they were about to face. Humanity had spent 30 years preparing for this moment, building in secret, developing technologies that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. The hunt was about to begin, but this time, humanity would be the hunter, not the prey. As her shuttle approached the Hyperion's massive form, Alina thought about her daughter on Proxima Centauri, about all the humans living their lives across the solar system, blissfully unaware of how close they had come to annihilation. By this time tomorrow, the galaxy would learn a crucial lesson. Never underestimate humanity's ability to survive, to adapt, and to fight back. The Hyperion's docking bay swallowed her shuttle, and Alina straightened her uniform. History was about to be made, and she had a front-row seat to humanity's emergence as a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. The real war was about to begin, and this time Earth was ready. Operation Starfire. Admiral Marcus Chen stood at the helm of the FSS Hyperion, watching the tactical display as thousands of ships moved into their assigned positions. The massive dreadnought's bridge hummed with controlled tension as crew members coordinated the largest military operation in human history. "Status report," he commanded, his voice carrying across the bridge with quiet authority. Captain Diana Wells, his tactical officer, responded without looking up from her station. "All battle groups are in position, Admiral. The Artemis defense grid is online, and our quantum entanglement communications are functioning at optimal levels. The Kylaxians still haven't detected our presence." Marcus nodded, his dark eyes fixed on the holographic representation of the battlefield. Earth's hidden fleet had been divided into 3 major battle groups. Task Force Alpha, led by the Hyperion, would serve as the main strike force. Task Force Beta, under the command of Rear Admiral Jackson Hayes, would protect the civilian colonies. Task Force Gamma, commanded by Vice Admiral Yuki Tanaka, remained in reserve, ready to exploit any weakness in the enemy's formation. Commander Alina Novik's voice came through the bridge speakers. "Admiral, sensor analysis complete. We've identified what appears to be their command ship. It's significantly larger than the others and is maintaining a position at the center of their formation. Their biological ships seem to be connected through some form of neural network." "Perfect," Marcus replied, a slight smile crossing his face. "That's exactly what we were hoping for. Lieutenant Commander Patel is the virus ready." At the cybernetics station, Raj Patel's fingers danced across his console. "Yes, sir. The quantum AI has analyzed their neural patterns. Once we establish a connection, we can disrupt their entire command and control structure." The bridge fell silent as the massive alien fleet drew closer to Proxima Centauri. The Kylaxians moved with absolute confidence, unaware that they were sailing into humanity's carefully prepared trap. Decades of preparation were about to pay off. "All ships, this is Admiral Chen," Marcus broadcast across the fleet's secure channel. "For 30 years, we've prepared for this moment. While the public built colonies and explored space, we developed weapons and defenses that would ensure humanity's survival. Today, we reveal ourselves not just to the Kylaxians, but to the galaxy at large." He paused, looking at the determined faces of his bridge crew. "The enemy believes they are superior. They think their biological technology gives them an advantage. They're about to learn that humanity's greatest strength isn't our weapons or our ships. It's our ability to adapt, to innovate, and to overcome any challenge. Execute Operation Starfire." Across the solar system, humanity's hidden fleet sprang into action. The first phase of the operation began as hundreds of stealth satellites activated, creating a massive quantum entanglement field that would prevent the Kylaxians from retreating into faster-than-light travel. "Sir," Captain Wells called out, "Task Force Beta reports all civilian ships have been evacuated from the primary battle zone. Task Force Gamma is in position behind the Saturn gravity well, ready to launch their flanking maneuver." Marcus watched as the pieces fell into place. The trap was nearly ready. "Commander Novik, begin the electronic warfare sequence. Let's see how their neural network handles our quantum virus." Alina's team launched their attack, targeting the biological computers that coordinated the Kylaxian fleet. The effect was immediate and devastating. The alien ship's perfect formation began to waver as confusion spread through their neural network. "Admiral," Patel reported, excitement clear in his voice, "the virus is working. Their ships are losing coordination. The biological components of their vessels are showing signs of extreme stress." Marcus allowed himself a moment of satisfaction before issuing his next order. "All ships, weapons free, execute attack pattern Omega. Show them what humanity's been building in the dark." The FSS Hyperion's massive form surged forward, leading Task Force Alpha into battle. The dreadnought's advanced weapons systems, hidden for so long, finally revealed their true power. Quantum-tipped missiles phased through the Kylaxians' energy shields as if they didn't exist. Graviton beams twisted space itself, crushing alien vessels like tin cans. The battle erupted across space as humanity's fleet engaged the disoriented Kylaxians. Vice Admiral Tanaka's Task Force Gamma emerged from behind Saturn, their electromagnetic pulse weapons disrupting the biological components of the alien ships. Rear Admiral Hayes's forces maintained a defensive screen around the colonies, their point defense systems swatting down any Kylaxian vessel that broke through the main battle line. "Sir," Wells reported, "the enemy command ship is attempting to coordinate a counterattack. They're adapting to our virus faster than expected." Marcus had anticipated this. The Kylaxians hadn't conquered half a dozen species by being unprepared. Signal Task Force Alpha, execute maneuver Breaking Storm. The human fleet's formation shifted, displaying a level of coordination that shocked even the technologically superior Kylaxians. Ships moved in perfect synchronization, their actions guided by quantum computers that could process battlefield information faster than any biological system. The FSS Hyperion's main gun, a weapon that had taken 15 years to perfect, powered up for its first real combat test. The massive particle beam accelerator ran the length of the ship, designed to deliver a single, devastating strike that could alter the course of the battle. "Target their command ship," Marcus ordered, his voice steady. "Let's show them exactly what humanity is capable of." The beam lanced out across space, a brilliant blue streak that seemed to tear reality itself. It struck the Kylaxian command ship dead center, the quantum-enhanced particles bypassing shields and armor to tear the massive vessel apart from the inside out. As the enemy command ship died, its destruction sent shock waves through the neural network connecting the Kylaxian fleet. Hundreds of alien vessels suddenly lost coordination, their biological systems overwhelmed by the death screams of their leader. "All ships," Marcus broadcast, "press the advantage, show no mercy. Today we prove that humanity will not be conquered. Today we claim our place among the stars." The battle was far from over, but as Marcus watched his fleet tear into the disorganized enemy, he knew that the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had hidden its strength for 30 years, preparing for this moment. Now, the Kylaxians and any other species watching would learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate the determination, ingenuity, and fighting spirit of the human race. Thunder of War. Vice Admiral Yuki Tanaka watched from the bridge of the FSS Artemis as the remains of the Kylaxian command ship drifted through space. The enemy fleet's formation had shattered, but she knew better than to underestimate them. The Kylaxians hadn't become one of the galaxy's most feared species by giving up easily. "Multiple contact signatures," her sensor officer, Lieutenant Kai Zhang, called out. "The enemy is regrouping. Their secondary command ships are taking control of the scattered forces." Yuki's eyes narrowed as she studied the tactical display. The Kylaxians were adapting faster than expected, their biological ships forming new neural networks to replace the destroyed command structure. "Send word to Admiral Chen. They're not beaten yet." As if to prove her point, the alien fleet suddenly surged forward, their biological ships pulsing with an eerie blue light. The Kylaxians had switched tactics, breaking into smaller, more autonomous battle groups that would be harder to control with the quantum virus. "All ships, this is Tanaka," she broadcast to Task Force Gamma. "Form up on me. Prepare to execute combat pattern Delta 7. Her fleet moved with practiced precision, their formation shifting to counter the new Kylaxian strategy. Aboard the Hyperion, Admiral Chen received Tanaka's warning just as the enemy launched their counterattack. The Kylaxian ships accelerated to impossible speeds, their biological hulls morphing to create new weapons even as they charged toward the human fleet. "They're desperate," Commander Alina Novak observed from her sensor station. "Their ships are burning through their energy reserves at an unsustainable rate." Marcus nodded grimly. "They'd rather die than admit defeat," Lieutenant Commander Patel launched the next phase of our cyber attack, target their individual ship clusters. The battle erupted into chaos as hundreds of ships engaged in close combat. The Kylaxians fought with the ferocity of cornered predators, their biological weapons evolving mid-battle to counter human defenses. But humanity had spent decades preparing for exactly this kind of fight. The FSS Artemis led its battle group in a daring flanking maneuver, using Saturn's rings as cover. Yuki had trained her crews for years in asteroid field combat, and now that training paid off. Human ships weaved through the debris with impossible precision, their quantum computers calculating paths that organic pilots couldn't hope to match. Enemy squadron breaking through Sector 7, Captain Wells reported from the Hyperion. They're targeting our support vessels. Marcus watched as a group of Kylaxian ships, their hulls now covered in crystalline spikes, drove toward the human fleet's vulnerable support ships. But this, too, had been anticipated. "Activate the ghost system," he ordered. Throughout the battlefield, seemingly defenseless human support ships suddenly shimmered and vanished, replaced by hardened combat vessels. Meanwhile, the real support ships, hidden by advanced stealth technology, continued their vital work unmolested. The Kylaxians had fallen for one of humanity's oldest tricks, a classic bait and switch, enhanced by technology so advanced it might as well have been magic. Aboard the Artemis, Yuki smiled as she watched the enemy's confusion. "Now show them what Task Force Gamma can really do. All ships, initiate Protocol Thunderstrike." Her fleet's energy weapons had been modified for exactly this moment. The crystalline armor that the Kylaxians had grown to protect themselves acted as a perfect conductor for the specialized electromagnetic pulses. Ships that had seemed invincible moments before began to convulse as their biological systems overloaded. The battle continued to evolve as both sides adapted to each other's tactics. The Kylaxians learned to counter some of humanity's advanced technology, while human forces found new ways to exploit the weaknesses in the enemy's biological systems. "Admiral," Elena called out from her station on the Hyperion, "I'm detecting a power surge in the enemy fleet. They're merging their ships." Marcus watched in astonishment as dozens of Kylaxian vessels began to combine, their biological matter flowing together to create something new and terrifying. A massive creature ship emerged from the fusion, larger than anything they had yet encountered. "So they do have one more trick up their sleeve," he muttered. "All ships fall back to designated coordinates, prepare to execute ultimate contingency." The human fleet began a fighting retreat, drawing the massive Kylaxian fusion ship away from the colonies. The enemy, believing they had finally gained the upper hand, pursued eagerly. "Sir," Patel reported, "the quantum field is stable. We have them right where we want them." Marcus took a deep breath. What they were about to attempt had never been tested in actual combat. "Signal all ships. Initiate quantum resonance cascade." Throughout the battlefield, human ships activated special devices that had been hidden within their hulls. The quantum entanglement field that had been preventing the Kylaxians from escaping suddenly changed frequency, creating a devastating resonance effect. The massive fusion ship found itself trapped in a web of quantum forces that turned its own mass against it. The very biology that made it powerful became its weakness as quantum resonance tore through its structure at the subatomic level. "By all the stars," Yuki whispered as she watched from the Artemis. The Kylaxian supership was literally being pulled apart by forces it couldn't comprehend, its biological components unable to adapt quickly enough to save themselves. The remaining Kylaxian vessels, witnessing the destruction of their greatest weapon, began to retreat. But humanity wasn't finished teaching its lesson. "All ships," Marcus broadcast, his voice carrying across the entire fleet, "execute final attack pattern. Show them the full price of underestimating humanity." The combined human fleet moved as one, their coordinated attack overwhelming the remaining enemy vessels. Ships that had terrorized the galaxy for centuries found themselves outmaneuvered, outgunned, and utterly defeated by a species they had dismissed as primitive. As the last Kylaxian ships were destroyed or fled, a profound silence fell over the battlefield. Humanity had not just won. They had demonstrated a level of technological advancement and tactical sophistication that would send shockwaves through the galaxy. Vice Admiral Tanaka opened a channel to the Hyperion. Admiral Chen, Task Force Gamma reports mission accomplished. The enemy fleet is in full retreat. Marcus nodded, allowing himself a small smile. Well done, everyone, but remember this was just the beginning. Today, we showed the galaxy that humanity is not to be trifled with. Tomorrow, we begin our emergence as a true interstellar power. The battle was over, but its implications would echo through the cosmos. Humanity had revealed itself as a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy would never be the same. The turning point. The observation deck of Neptune Station Alpha offered a panoramic view of the gas giant's swirling storms. Dr. Thomas Morgan, Earth's chief diplomatic officer, stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching as ships from a dozen different alien species arrived for the emergency summit. Quite a change from 3 weeks ago, Admiral Chen said, joining him at the window. When the Kylaxians attacked, most of these species wouldn't even acknowledge our diplomatic messages. Thomas nodded, his silver hair catching the light from Neptune's atmosphere. Amazing what defeating a supposedly invincible enemy will do for one's diplomatic status. Have you seen the latest intelligence reports? About the other empires scrambling to reassess their military capabilities, Marcus smiled grimly. Vice Admiral Tanaka's analysis suggests at least 3 major powers are completely redesigning their fleets based on what they witnessed. The door slid open, and Commander Alina Novik entered, carrying a holographic display. Admiral, Doctor, you'll want to see this. We've decoded more of the Kylaxian neural network data we captured during the battle. The hologram sprang to life, showing a map of known space with trade routes, military installations, and diplomatic relationships between various species. But now, overlaid on top, was a web of hidden Kylaxian operations that stretched across the galaxy. They had infiltrated everything, Alina explained, highlighting different sectors. Military bases disguised as trading posts, biological weapon facilities hidden in asteroid belts, sleeper agents in dozens of governments. The Kylaxians weren't just an empire, they were a cancer growing through the galaxy. Thomas studied the map intently. And now every species out there knows that humanity was the first to successfully fight back. The first to not just survive a Kylaxian invasion, but to comprehensively defeat them. Which makes us either very valuable allies or very dangerous enemies, Marcus added. Speaking of which, how are the negotiations going with the Centaurian League? Better than expected. After seeing what our technology can do, they're practically begging to establish a mutual defense pact. The Arcturus Federation and the Vega Collective have also expressed interest in military cooperation. Their discussion was interrupted by a priority alert. Lieutenant Commander Patel's voice came through the station's comm system. Admiral, we're detecting multiple quantum signatures approaching the solar system. Ships matching Kylaxian design, but different. Marcus was already moving. Different how? They appear to be civilian vessels, sir. They're broadcasting on all frequencies in multiple languages. They're requesting asylum. Thomas and Alina shared a shocked look. Asylum, Thomas repeated, from the Kylaxians. Put it on screen, Marcus ordered as they reached the station's command center. The main display showed a fleet of organic ships, their designs clearly Kylaxian in origin, but lacking the crystalline armor and weapon systems of their military counterparts. Their lead vessel was broadcasting a message that translated into every known language. To the United Earth government and its military forces, we represent the Free Kylaxian Movement, a coalition of civilian scientists, merchants, and citizens who have long opposed the military dominance of our species. Your victory has created an opportunity for change that we have awaited for generations. We seek sanctuary and offer in exchange our complete biological and technological database. The command center erupted in controlled chaos as analysts and diplomats tried to verify the transmission's authenticity. But Thomas was already smiling. "This is it," he said quietly. "This is how we reshape the galaxy." Admiral Chen raised an eyebrow. "You think we should trust them?" "Trust but verify," Thomas replied. "Think about it, Marcus. The Kylaxians' military authority has been their power base for millennia. By defeating them so thoroughly, we've given their civilian population hope for something different. This isn't just about military victory anymore, it's about fundamental change." Commander Novik's fingers flew across her console as she analyzed the approaching ships. Their biological signatures are genuine Kylaxian, but their neural patterns are significantly different from the military vessels we encountered. They appear to be telling the truth. Marcus considered the implications. A faction of Kylaxians seeking asylum would not only provide invaluable intelligence and technology, but would also legitimize humanity's position in galactic politics. It would transform Earth from a military victor to a catalyst for social change. "Have Task Force Beta escort them to the quarantine zone near Titan," he ordered. "Full scanning protocols, but treat them as potential allies unless proven otherwise." As the civilian Kylaxian ships were guided into the solar system, more diplomatic vessels arrived for the summit. Representatives from species that had once dismissed humanity as primitive now waited patiently for an audience with Earth's leaders. "The galaxy's watching," Thomas observed. "Every decision we make now will shape interstellar relations for centuries to come." "Then we better make the right ones," Marcus replied. "Humanity's kept secrets for 30 years, preparing for a war everyone thought we'd lose. Now we need to show we can lead in peace as effectively as we fought in war." Elena's console beeped with another alert. "Sir, we're receiving requests for technological exchange programs from 17 different species. They're particularly interested in our quantum computing and AI systems." Thomas straightened his diplomatic uniform. "And so begins the next phase. We've proven we can fight. Now we prove we can build, teach, and lead." He turned to Marcus. "The summit begins in 2 hours, ready to help reshape the galaxy." Marcus looked out at the assembled alien ships, each representing a species that had underestimated humanity and were now eager to become allies. "You know what the truly ironic part is? None of this would have happened if the Kylaxians hadn't attacked. Their attempt to conquer us has instead placed humanity at the center of galactic politics." "History often turns on such ironies," Thomas replied. "The question is, what do we do with this opportunity?" As if in answer, another diplomatic vessel emerged from quantum space, its design unlike anything they had seen before. "New contact," Elena reported. "They're identifying themselves as representatives of the Galactic Council, a governing body we didn't even know existed." Marcus and Thomas exchanged looks. The game was getting bigger by the moment, and humanity was now a major player whether they were ready or not. "Well," Thomas said with a slight smile, "shall we show them what humanity can do when we're not just fighting for survival?" The future of human-alien relations hung in the balance, but for the first time, Earth was negotiating from a position of strength. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapons weren't its ships or technology, but its ability to adapt, innovate, and bring about change that no one thought possible. Dawn of a new era. 1 year after the Battle of Proxima Centauri, Earth had transformed from an isolated backwater into the center of galactic diplomacy. The newly constructed Harmony Station, orbiting at Earth's L5 point, served as humanity's first true interstellar diplomatic hub. Its crystalline spires and quantum-enhanced facilities represented a fusion of technologies from a dozen different species, including reformed Kylaxian bioengineering. High Admiral Marcus Chen, recently promoted to oversee Earth's expanding fleet, stood in the station's grand observatory alongside Dr. Thomas Morgan. Below them, Earth gleamed like a jewel against the black of space, while ships of various alien designs moved in carefully coordinated patterns around the station. "The latest reports from the Arcturus sector are promising," Thomas said, reviewing his quantum tablet. "The joint human-Centaurian peacekeeping force has successfully prevented 3 potential conflicts. Our reputation as mediators is growing." Marcus nodded, watching a massive Kylaxian civilian transport dock at one of the bioengineered ports. And how are our former enemies adapting to their new role? The Free Kylaxian movement has exceeded all expectations. Their biological technology, combined with our quantum computing, has revolutionized everything from medicine to space travel. Who would have thought that defeating them in battle would lead to such productive cooperation? Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Vice Admiral Yuki Tanaka, now head of Earth's Advanced Research Division. "Gentlemen, you're going to want to see this. The joint research team has made a breakthrough." They followed her to the station's secure research wing, where Commander Alina Novik waited with a team of human and alien scientists. The laboratory was a testament to interspecies cooperation, with technology from multiple civilizations working in harmony. "We've done it," Alina announced, her eyes bright with excitement. "By combining Kylaxian biological computing with our quantum systems and Centaurian energy manipulation, we've created something entirely new." She gestured to a holographic display showing a complex molecular structure. A true biomechanical interface, not just for ships or computers, but for space itself. We can now manipulate the quantum fabric of reality with the precision of thought and the power of multiple technologies working in concert. "The implications are staggering," one of the Kylaxian scientists added, their translated voice carrying genuine awe. "This could revolutionize everything from space travel to planetary terraforming." Marcus studied the display intently. "And this is something that could only have been developed through cooperation. No single species could have created this alone." "Precisely," Alina confirmed. "It required the unique perspectives and technologies of multiple civilizations. We're already seeing similar breakthroughs in other fields. The galaxy is advancing faster through cooperation than it ever did through competition." Thomas smiled diplomatically. "Speaking of cooperation, the Galactic Council has finally made their decision. They're ready to announce it at today's assembly." The Grand Assembly Hall of Harmony Station was packed with representatives from every known spacefaring species. The architectural design incorporated elements from all member civilizations. Human quantum technology created perfect acoustics, while Kylaxian bioengineering allowed the room to adjust its shape and size to accommodate different atmospheric needs. The President of Earth's United Government, Isabella Rahman, took the central podium. Behind her stood representatives from the Galactic Council. Their diverse forms a testament to the variety of life in the cosmos. "1 year ago," she began, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber, "humanity faced what many believed would be our extinction. Today, we stand here not as survivors, but as architects of a new era in galactic civilization." She gestured to the assembled representatives. The Kylaxian invasion could have ended in tragedy. Instead, it became the catalyst for unprecedented cooperation. Our victory showed strength, yes, but our actions afterward demonstrated wisdom. We chose to help rather than dominate, to share rather than hoard, to build rather than destroy. The chief counselor of the Galactic Council stepped forward, their crystalline form shimmering in the light. "It is therefore with great pleasure that we announce the establishment of the new Galactic Cooperative, with Earth serving as its founding headquarters. Humanity has proven not only their military capability, but their diplomatic wisdom and technological innovation." Marcus leaned over to Thomas as applause filled the chamber. "Did you ever imagine, when we were preparing for war all those years, that victory would lead to this?" Thomas shook his head. "We planned for survival. We achieved something far greater, a chance to help guide the galaxy toward a better future." The ceremony continued as treaties were signed and agreements formalized. Earth was no longer just another world among many. It had become a nexus of interstellar cooperation, a place where different species could come together to solve the galaxy's greatest challenges. Later that evening, as the celebrations continued throughout the station, Alina found Marcus on the observation deck. "The quantum sensors are picking up something interesting," she said. "Signs of intelligent life from several previously unexplored regions of space. It seems our new alliance has attracted attention." Marcus smiled, more potential friends or enemies. That's the interesting part, Alina replied. Based on the signals, they appear to be civilizations that have been hiding just as we did, watching, preparing, learning, now that we've shown there's another way. They're ready to emerge, Marcus finished. Well, we'd better prepare a proper welcome. After all, we know better than most what it's like to hide your true potential while waiting for the right moment. As they watched Earth rotate below them, surrounded by ships of a dozen different designs all working together in harmony, both officers felt the weight of the moment. Humanity had not just survived, they had changed the very nature of galactic civilization. The stars no longer represented a frontier to be conquered or a threat to be feared. They were now a promise of endless possibilities, of technologies yet to be discovered, of friendships yet to be forged. Humanity had proven itself not just in war, but in the far more challenging arena of peace. And somewhere out there, other civilizations were watching, learning, and preparing to join this new age of cooperation and discovery. The galaxy was changing, and humanity, against all odds, had become the catalyst for that change. As night fell over Earth, the lights of Harmony Station gleamed like a new constellation in the sky, a beacon of hope, innovation, and unity in a universe that had finally learned that strength comes not from domination, but from cooperation.